putting some cards and batteries in the trail cameras right now. Kind of up this little draw between a couple of our stands here. That's Greg. You can see him over there, Uncle Greg. I think Grandpa's up there, kind of down on the bottom. You can see how steep this is. I'll see if I can get it at an angle, but hills like this one up to the right of the camera, you can see hills like that are part of why we can pack a lot of people onto this 40 acres for hunting, because most of the spots we can tuck people behind hills, so that even though there's a lot of people on here, sometimes for the relative size of the land, it's very safe, because most of us can't see each other at all when we're actually in our spots. So I'm going to walk up this hillside here and then kind of show you guys a view looking down. Oh yeah, there's Grandpa. God, where's Greg? Oh, he's way up in there too. Okay. So from up top here, you can see if I turn around. God, the bugs are terrible right now. If I turn around, that spot where that green is right in the center of the camera right now is probably about 50, 60 yards away. Yeah, so this is just some of our area. Now we're getting kind of up near where Grandpa's spot is for the moment, although I think sometime soon here in the next year or two, I think we're going to try and move his spot closer to where we park, so that he doesn't have to walk so far to get to his blind, because he's turned 71 today and he's kind of slowing down. So oh yeah, here's this little deer trail right in front of us here. It splits off. Yeah, so check this out. So here's Grandpa. There's Greg putting something in the camera, probably a card.
Yeah, they had this turned all the way around, Ryan.
What?
This camera. So they're hitting them all. See,
Just like the other ones, okay.
That is hogs.
So here we got a little salt block. There's some, you see here's some tine marks in the ground from them digging around trying to get at the salt.
Wait till it starts taking pictures. They'll really be fucking grabbing it. So yeah, I gotta bring them plastic gloves next time.
Bugs are really terrible right now. You guys can't probably tell, but
Oh, they're bad.
no, I'm talking to whoever's watching this, Grandpa.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's the, what is that, the third? That's the third camera we've checked now, right? No, fourth. So that's the fourth one, and 3 out of the 4 were pulled, twisted around, messed with, which means
There's a window out again.
that there's bears in here again. Yeah, now Grandpa's saying there's a window punched out of this blind. Check this out. Which window is out? The far side one?
The back here.
Yeah.
And yes, a couple of weeks ago it was on this other side.
Yeah, this has been happening the last few years now, where the only thing we can think of that's doing it is bears, and we can actually see, sometimes you can see what you might call proof of that, because you can see big muddy paw prints smeared down the side of the blind. Good? think we've had these blinds in here for probably, I think like this will be the 4th season maybe.
Could be. Right when I can't go, which is getting down toward the end, and hope if this is any good.
Oh yeah, they'll
We
be
gotta
good
get
for a
it
while.
over where you are or something.
Well, we got to move yours closer to the front of the woods in there.
Yeah, he don't want to though. He likes looking at trees. Trees and newspapers.
Trees and newspapers. Grandpa's hunting trees and newspapers. Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah, so here's kind of one of the main trails. This goes back to Grandpa's cousin Jim's. Oop, Grandpa's trying to swap flies off the camera. Grandpa's cousin Jim's
Right.
house and farm.
I dragged out my 20-inch 10-pointer or whatever. On this
Oh, right
trail.
down this trail.
Yeah.
Yeah, that goes out. We used to drive in by his house and we would walk in on this trail, but now we've kind of been developing the little easement that goes between 2 fields on the opposite corner of the land. So we don't usually walk out that way anymore or really go over there at all unless it's really rainy and muddy to where we shouldn't be driving on the easement because we might get stuck. Then we'll still go up to Jim's because he doesn't really mind, but kind of just try and keep to ourselves. There's an old right in the middle of the camera there. You can see there's an old outhouse that I think used to be. Grandpa, where'd we get that from? Wasn't it by the lake?
That was off the lake place, yeah.
Yeah, that was by the old. They had a house on Half Moon Lake years ago. And I think the outhouse came from there. It was on the land when they got the house. So I'm pretty sure I've actually taken a dump in there at least once or twice. Like before it got really bad and weird and like mouse infested. I'm pretty sure I took a dump in there at least once when I was younger. Here's another tree I'll have to probably have to chop up. That looks fresh enough where it might be a little bit too. Yeah, I don't know. We'll leave that there for now. I can get rid of it later. It's still pretty green, so it's pretty heavy. I don't want to mess with that right now. There's a big spider web. Yeah, now we're kind of cresting the hill where we're going to be coming back down towards where we come in. Bug repellent.
Not good.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, this is worse. That'd be better
What, the bugs you mean?
today, being it wasn't as hot.
Oh yeah, it's pretty. I think this is kind of like, at least to me anyway, this is runner up from that one day when we were bear baiting last year. That was the worst fucking thing.
Oh, that was bad.
Like,
Some of them days.
they were just clouds of mosquitoes and flies. It's driving me nuts. Ouch. Right, so now we're kind of on the main trail that's going out towards the front of the property here, where there's like a field edge. It's planted with corn right now, and there's some beans on the other side of the easement. But this is sort of like our main walking trail. Oh God, there's mosquitoes everywhere. Jesus Christ. Oh, that by that big like dead log back there that's kind of in the center of the camera right now, there's like a that's where we keep a salt block and one of the cameras nearby. That one got hit by bears too, or at least that's what it looks like.
This is really our most important camera.
Huh?
This is the most important camera.
Oh, this one out by the front. Greg's saying that this camera over here by the, I don't know if you can see that on the base of the tree over there. Yeah, there it is, right kind of dead center of the camera. That's what Greg said is the most important one because it basically looks out from that tree there. You can see it just kind of pivots out. If I pivot out, you can see it kind of catches this little clearing right here in the intersection. That's just a rain bucket that we're trying to use. I think we're going to dig a hole and sink that rain bucket under the ground a little ways to let it fill up, make it harder for bears and shit to tip it over. But there's usually quite a few scrapes underneath of the, like see, this is a pretty close limb to the ground here. There's usually quite a few scrapes around here, at least 2 or 3 of them at the beginning of fall. So now this trail is going to take us right back to the front of the land. I don't know why I'm filming this vertically. Maybe I just wanted it to be sketchy, but I don't know. I think basically what happened is that I didn't really think of that until I was like halfway through filming this, and then by then it was too late. But now when we came in here, we had just pulled up to the land, and
piss him off, but someone just starting, you never know. It could be fucking awesome. So,
just came in here and
I mean,
the fly on the fucking lens of the camera. When we came in here, we had just parked and we hadn't even gotten out of the truck yet, and somebody that we're like 95% sure was Grandpa's other cousin Joe, who's kind of a fucking dirtbag.
so yeah, I'm
He
definitely doing it.
he had pulled up and stopped on the road
You could even
right in front of the easement like he was going to come in here, but he stopped and sat there for a couple minutes and then drove away. So we're pretty sure that he was going to come in here to look for ginseng uninvited.
They go across into this other stuff too.
What's up?
There's a deer track.
Oh yeah, there's a decently fresh tracks down there.
Yeah, they go.
It rained pretty recently, so
And that trail that I see right there.
there's a little picnic table where we kind of just keep random shit like ladders and chairs, as you can see. We did have a pole strung up between those 2 trees that we were using to hang deer from, but it was just an old shitty piece of pipe and it ended up breaking on us. So now we've got a pulley system rigged up on a tree out front here.
Something to hold you. You don't lose your balance.
God, the bugs are awful. Yeah, see, so now there's the truck down there.
I don't really realize it.
You can see.
It is, really.
So this is front of the property. See, there's the corn I was talking about, and then just to the left of the truck around the corner is where the bean field is. Now, okay, yeah, so that tree right there, let's see if I can zoom in. Yeah, so there's the pulley system
Maybe
right
he was
there.
gonna go say hi to Jim.
Just kind of a random brush pile of shit that we mowed out and pushed up in there.
And he's like, how's he gonna turn around?
All right, guys, that was kind of a little tour of about a third of the property, so I think I'm gonna stop filming now, but let me know if you guys want to see more